We are in a digital generation. This generation is whereby children are well equipped with technology in terms of using phones and laptops, and they are also in social media. Join us as we get to discuss how parenting in this digital era is and some of the challenges that parents are facing. Welcome and thank you. Hello viewers, my name is Odhiambo Sheila and I'll be your moderator for today's show. We'll be having a panel discussion on the topic parenting in this digital era. Welcome. With me here are our guests. I'll give them time to introduce themselves.
Good evening viewers. We thank you for this wonderful program that we are going to do here as parents to teenagers of this digital era. We call them Generation Z. My name is Elder Stephen Agua.
Good evening viewers. My name is David Bowa, a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church Kariobangi, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to enjoy the program. Thank you.
Thank you, and we hope that you will be with us till the end of the show. The topic of today is parenting in this digital era. And for our first question, I'll ask, what do you understand by this term, parenting in the digital era?
Thank you so much, Sheila. Parenting in the digital era, it's just a normal parenting, but because the world has grown to digital world, whereby now we have teenagers who are quite different from the teenagers of our time. I am a father of 3 teenagers, and what I understand about them is that they like the screen so much that if I don't come into the picture, then they might, the screens might lead them astray. And that I mean TV, social media with phones. So that's what I understand about this, how to take care or to guide my teenagers on how to use the gadgets and even how to live with them.
Thank you so much. As I mentioned earlier, I am married to one wife. I have 2 kids. One is 7 years, and the other one I can remember clearly. She only turned 2 years the other day. Basically, parenting in the digital era is something that parents cannot run away from. Because if you will say you are poor enough that you cannot afford a phone, then your kids will go to a neighbor's place who probably has a TV. And if you will say you're poor enough that you cannot afford a TV, there are children in your neighborhood who are able to bring phones and actually let your kid get to understand and actually interact with these gadgets. So basically, parenting in digital era is basically understanding the effect of digital effect in the life of children. And basically, most of the things that parents will be battling with are things like overindulging on screen time. You'll find that children like spending a lot of time on their screens. So these are things that if you're a parent in this generation, you really need to struggle with. How do you correct, how do you set time for them to overindulge on screen time? The other thing is screen addiction. You will find that probably if you leave for home and you don't give proper instructions, they will be on the screen from the time you leave for work up until the time you're coming back. Cartoons and all these other things. The other thing that we need to look at is child safety and security, especially when you're looking at a phone and computers. Because in this time and age, the society is very dirty. You may think your children are safe on your TV, but what they watch behind your back is also not safe. We're talking about Instagram. And these days, there is this program called TikTok that has a lot of filth in it, that if not well managed, then parents would probably be struggling. So these are some of the things that we probably would be looking at, and how a parent can still raise up kids, godly and God-fearing children in this generation without being affected by the digital era, and still emerge victorious in raising up children.
Thank you very much for those responses. As we look at it, we can now understand how the children of this generation, Gen Z, how their behavior, how equipped they are with the digital, with the technology in terms of using phones, and maybe some have laptops. And so my next question, between a laptop and a phone, now in this case, which one would you buy for your kid and why?
So I will go for a laptop because it is easier to manage and to talk about the restrictions. So like my girls, you will explain to them and then they will understand why you don't want them to visit some sites. Because as my brother puts it, there are sites that if left unchecked, then they might lead this one child of yours astray. And there are also bullies through the social media. If you can't control the access, they might end up being bullied thoroughly. And even this might cause stress, depression, and even death. So if you ask me, I will allow my child access to a laptop.
Basically, the question is tricky, because we need to ask ourselves, we are talking about a kid. For me, at this age, I give my older daughter a laptop with specific instructions, and they do not have access to neither my phone or my wife's phone. What I did instead is there are these phones that look like office phones, but you put SIM card. They are wireless, you can walk with them. They are normally very big and they make a lot of noise when they ring. So I have that phone in the house. If you want anything from daddy or mommy, you can call. Or if daddy or mommy gets a missed call, they can definitely call and we respond to their. But in terms of interacting between a laptop and a phone, for now, the younger one, no, neither a phone nor a laptop. The older one, yes, a computer or rather a laptop. I have a desktop computer in the study room that they access, but with specific instructions. One, to help them get to understand and learn how to start operating them as early as now. And the other thing is their assignments that they are given from school. You start teaching them how to do research on a computer.
Thank you very much. So even if we also look at CBC coming in, these children will still, at some point, they'll be required to use laptops. Yeah, so thank you for that response. For now, we are taking a short break. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us. Welcome, viewers. Welcome back. Right now, we are going to bring in a new guest. We have a mother here, and she'll introduce herself.
I'm called Molly Akoth, a mother of one kid, a lady. She's called Elizabeth Akinyi, and she's approaching 3 years.
Our next question to our guests, I'll ask, do you find time to spend with your kids? Like talk to them, listen to them, and explain to us like how you find time in terms of your work. Like, do you work full time or part time? And at what time do you find time to interact with them?
I work part-time, and that's a free time that I get enough time to spend time with my kid. Mostly on Sunday, we can walk out, we share our ideas, so I keep him close. When we go out, he's somehow free to tell you or to tell me what he's thinking. Maybe mtu alimwambia hii kitu ni mbaya na yeye amejua that thing is right. She will come back and ask me the same question, and that is the right time I will explain to her na hii it is not good, this one and this one is right. Then in the house also we have time from work. When we have taken our dinner, we sit down, we sing together, and saa zingine yeye ndio anaimbisha, yeye ndio anachukua hiyo jukumu, anataka kuimba, afanye devotion, alafu aombe. So anakuwa tunakuwa na routine. Nikiomba leo, yeye amejua tu kesho itakuwa yake. So I create time for her, and he also create time for me, so that we can be open and solve our issue. And the more I keep her close, the more she be open to me. Yeah.
I'm in employment, and I'm also in business. And honestly speaking, time is never available. Time is created. So I think the best way to ask that question would be, do you create time for your kids? And the answer is yes. I on a daily basis, before I go to work, at times when, like the young one, immediately I wake up, I don't know how she knows I am up. So you wake up, you go to the wash your face, do this. When you come back, she is up again. So I get to sit down, I get to ask her how the day was. For the older one, again, I will be honest, depends. Of late, we've been discussing, in most cases, we've been discussing homeworks, and she has a lot of demands. You know, I want to do this, I want to do this, you know, when you come, buy this, buy that. But we find time and sit together and just story tell. Rarely do we go out for a walk. I'll be lying. Rarely do I find time to. I think what I have, of course, for the last month, it has not happened. But in most cases, when we come from church, we normally, the whole family, we can get out, go for a walk, maybe in some of these malls, and then just call it a Sabbath evening. The only time I try as much as possible is every Sabbath, we, as a whole family, have time to have dinner outside of the house. So that way I can sit in some corner with one of them, then we get to interact. The essence of interaction is just to create cohesion, that there is a father figure and there is a mother figure.
Thank you for that. We've learned that time is created. There's a quote I came through. It said, let's not kill their innocence, because children, they learn from what they see and not what we tell them. If you look at this digital era where the technology is really advancing so fast, could you say that that innocence is it still there? Like, is the innocence of this child still kept?
In most cases, the first time children become, when they do it, they are innocent. But at some point, they like exploring a lot. What breaks the innocence is the TV and the environment. And that is why, for me, there is a rule in the house that if we don't have people coming to visit us, they play inside the house or they play outside. I would rather we bring them in church and or take them somewhere where they just go and play because of the kind of influence. The other thing is the influence they get from house girls. I try as much as possible to keep my kids off social media. But there was this particular time that I found my kid on TikTok. I was like, okay, what is this? So as a parent, you keep her out of social media. But the people that come into the house, I would say children are innocent in, and we're talking about children, in most of the things they do on digital platforms until someone comes and opens their eyes and tells them what you have been seeing actually has a deeper meaning than what you think.
As a mother figure, from now, the child is innocent. Usipomchunga kwa digital, what is chenye anaangalia kwa simu, kwa TV, is it something which brings knowledge, understanding, or is it something which if he or she sees, she will start thinking very deeply to understand that what kind of thing is this. And sometimes, if you are not close to him or her, that is why we start with be close to your kid, so that he can be open to you. If you are not close to him or her, she will walk out and ask a friend, what kind of thing is this? The kid is innocent until you introduce something very tangible to him or to her, which can help him in life.
What is your opinion?
Generally speaking, there is this saying that goes that monkey see, monkey do. A monkey will remain very innocent until he sees, and then monkey will imitate what is seeing or he have seen. So that's why it's very important for a parent to come in the life of a child growing up, because the parents now will be like a guardian. Let me say a guardian angel to this child, because now you will be, as he or she learns to walk or even talk, then the parent will be guiding. If you guide and show the child this is not right or this is the right one to do, when he grow her up, then she will now be able to differentiate between the bad and the good. This will really help, because again, children are really innocent until they learn now. And mostly they learn from what they see. They can learn from social media or from even people or friends. So a child, a parent or a guardian must be close enough to guide these children. Because now we are talking of Generation Z. If they are led the wrong way, then they will grow up the wrong way. But if they are shown the right way, then they will grow knowing the difference between bad and good. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your responses. I hope that our viewers, parents who are watching this program, I hope that you are learning something, and also you're getting an insight on how parenting in this digital era, how it is. Thank you so much, our guests. Thank you for creating time to be here. We really appreciate you so much. And as we finish, we would like to encourage our parents to get to understand the children, that especially the young children, the ones that are now, let's say, like 3-4 years, the ones that are soon to be born, These are children who will be growing up in a world that's really advancing in technology. And definitely they'll be interacting with things like phones, laptops, and as we know, social media, it's very critical. So let's take time to guide them so that as they grow up, they become better people in future. Otherwise, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate your presence. Thank you.